All right, y'all. Sorry about that, man. I had some issues I had to take care of, but I'm back again. Okay, now let's let's dive into this right quick. Talking about the Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford uh, fight. Now, uh, Terrence Crawford has pretty much has came out and stated that there's nothing standing in the way of the Earl Spence fight. Now I know that a lot of people are anxious to find out, what's taking place in terms of the negotiations and everything. Um, he said, he had came out pretty much and said that he's free to do whatever he wants to. He said there's nothing standing in the way from them fighting. He said there's no promotional companies that's blocking it. There's nothing wrong in terms of his side of the street. There's no nothing. He said, let's see who the best welterweight in the world is, and that's what he came out and said. But I'm confident that the fight is going to take place because this fight is going to be possibly the biggest fight, in my opinion, since the um, it would be I think it was the Sugar Ray fight and Tommy Hitman Hearns fight. I think that this fight right here is definitely going to uh, be of that magnitude. Now, Spence wants this fight, okay? And let me let me make this very clear that Spence is not playing any games with anybody. You know what I'm saying? You know the the thing about it is, and the thing that people got to understand is that Earl is chasing. He's chasing straps. Okay, he's trying to get that. He's trying to get that belt. He's trying to get all the belts, man. And that you can't deny his motivation to do that. Now, look, I I know a lot of people are sitting up here saying that either Spence is ducking Crawford and Crawford with ducking Spence. That ship is already sailed. We know that neither one of them have been ducking each other. We know that that's not the case. The only thing that was standing in the way was the business side of things. Okay, we all know that. Yeah, neither one of them is ducking uh, Memphis, but it's just like they're gonna negotiate, and that's what's gonna happen. And like I said, Terrence Crawford has came out and basically stated that there's nothing standing in his way, and they're eager. They're eager, ready to get it on. Earl Spence is working now. He said he doesn't need it. He don't want no tune up. Neither what's it called doesn't want a tune up. Earl Spence don't want no tune up. Earl Spence don't rock like that. Earl Spence likes to jump right up in the shark tank. You know what I'm saying? That's his style. You know, and that's not me being biased because I like Earl Spence or anything like that, but that's just the way that he is. But also Terrence Crawford is a beast. He's a wolf too. You know, it's just that it's just the people that have been placed in front of him. You know, he's faced criticism about in terms of his resume and all that stuff. But you can't deny that he is a champion and he is undisputed. So. But yeah, neither one of them were duck. I never felt that either one was ducking the other. I just felt that it was a lot of commotion going on. I think a lot of the fans had a lot to do with that too. You know that whole high school bullshit. He say she say type shit. You know, and people think that this is a channel to hate Buzz. No, absolutely not. I got a lot of respect for Buzz. I got a lot of respect for Buzz, and there's plenty of guys within the LDBC that love Buzz too, you know. But people get so emotional when I say that I feel like Earl Spence, he's got the upper hand in this fight. That's my personal opinion, and that's what I feel about. Because this is gonna be an epic fight, man. All these fights that are happening, yeah, that's great. You said boxing need to find a way to get a union breakaway from these BS promoters. Now, yeah, I agree with it. I agree with it. The way that boxing, it's a shame the way boxing has it has been ran. It's been like that, for years though, Memphis. And one could argue it was it was worse back in the days. But I'm looking at a situation like this, like I was telling Jacob about the Cambosis fight that's about to take place right now over there in Australia. Like that situation is a prime example of David Haney going going over there fighting without his father in in his corner. you know they tripping off of something that Bill Haney did 30 years ago, okay? But they let other people up in this country, you know what I'm saying? They got all types of stuff that's going on and stuff like that, that they done did in their past or whatever, and I'm not gonna, go into detail about that. But I mean, it's a crying shame. And now you putting him at a disadvantage because he's at a disadvantage, uh, from him being pulled out of course, his comfort zone, because he's going to a whole nother country. He's at a disadvantage because he don't have his trainer because Bill Haney is his trainer. And then he's also at a disadvantage because of the judges. So that's a prime example there too. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows what the situation, what it's about. But this fight right here is everybody's waiting on. Like, I'm tired of waiting though. I can't front. Look, I'm not gonna sit up here and cap and say that, I'm gonna be patient or anything like that. People been wanting to see this fight. People wanted to see this fight like 10 years ago, if you really want to be honest. If we're being technical, people wanted to see this fight like 10 years ago. At least anywhere from 8 to 9, eight, I would say about 8 to 10 years ago. People wanted to see this fight. And there were more welters involved. Of course you had, Thurman when he was at his, at his best or whatever. It was all about Thurman, uh, Porter, uh, Spence, and Crawford in that division during that time. All those guys they could have went at each other, and they're still relatively young to get it done. It's not like, oh, excuse me, it's not like they're fighting, past their primes or anything. But a lot of people, I can understand where you're coming from, Memphis, because a lot of people, uh, they believe it or not, they don't watch boxing because of the robberies and stuff like that. So I can understand where you're coming from. They feel like, it's a lot of underhanded, sneaky shit that goes on. But I try to look beyond that. Just like it's a lot of underhanded, sneaky shit that goes on in terms of the NBA. In terms of it, the game being rigged, and the refs playing a big factor in the game and all that stuff. So I can understand, and just like with this whole case, with the judges, I don't like it either. That's why I think a lot of people go at me about Canelo and all that other stuff, because of the conspiracy and the cheating and stuff like that. But like, we know that Spence he's managed uh by Heyman, okay, and we all know that over time that Al Heyman does not, he don't get along with Bob Arum, you know, and they've worked together, before, and their successful bout was when they were able to get the Floyd Mayweather and the Manny Pacquiao fight, and of course that set a record which has yet to be broken at this time. Um, and they were saying that if the fight if the fight with Spence can't come together, he was saying that he was going to talk to ESPN reporters about possibly fighting on ESPN reporters in March. And he said he did want to eventually move up. He wants to move up, and he wants to fight the winner of the Castano, Castano and Jamel Charlo fight. That's what his initial, his plans were. But we see how that went. We already see how that went. With Castano taking that L, being stopped for Jamel Charlo to become undisputed. which I'm happy for, man. I know a lot of people don't really get along with the Charlos. They don't like the Charlos because of some of the stuff that they do, and some of the stuff, they're just controversial or whatever. But I take my hats off to Charlo, man. I I'm proud that he went out there, man, and he backed it up. You know what I'm saying? He bounced back because a lot of people felt that he had lost that first fight with Castano. But we all know that this is the fight that people want. Um, you know, Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He wants Earl Spence, and Earl Spence wants him. And the fight uh, is going to be made. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not going to get done because it's going to get done, man. It's going to get done. But and I know a lot of people are looking at it like, okay, well, you could be doing this or you could be doing that. You could be taking care of, doing some small little fights or here and there and in between that time and stuff like that. But I think they're also looking at the risk factor of that because Jerron Ennis, he said he wants to he's willing to fight both of them. And I like that. A lot of people don't like that. I like that attitude. And even if look, if he gets out, if Jerron Ennis gets out there and even if he was to take that L, his respect level would just elevate though. Especially if he goes the distance with either one of those two and don't get knocked out, his respect level would elevate. It would go through the roof. A lot of people don't agree with Jerron with Boots calling out uh, Spence or Crawford. I like that. I like that. And I don't believe that it would be no Rolly Romero situation like a Tank situation, but the fact that he has that type of hey, I'm I'm ready to I'm ready to be top dog type of mentality. That speaks volumes, bro. Yeah, so on that note, I just wanted to talk about it just for a second. I know there's been a lot of questions about the negotiation, about the process, about the contract situation. But other than that, man, make sure y'all like the video, um, sub to the channel, and also be sure to hit them notifications too, man. They haven't been sending my notifications out for whatever reason. But on that note, Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man, and I'll get at y'all later.